Hello, everybody. Welcome to week 7. My name is IAndrews. I'm going to be discussing ethical issues in research. As part of your work this week, you should be completing your city program modules. Once you complete those, you will have a certificate that looks just like this. Make sure you upload those into the course site. Our objective is to examine ethical issues related to nursing research and the protection of human subjects. Our nursing research is guided by the Code of Ethics established by the American Nurses Association in 1995. Those guidelines were revised in 2015, and it became the Code of Ethics for Nurses, which guide our everyday practice and our nursing research. Good ethical nursing research includes the following. Once we have an idea for a study, we submit that idea to a review board. They're going to be looking that everything is ethical and that we are able to proceed with the study. Our idea needs to be scientifically sound. The research needs to be conducted and supervised by experts, and we need to adhere to ethical principles throughout the study, before, during, and after. Ethical principles to protect participants. The first one is autonomy. With autonomy, we are given all the information needed for the participant to make an informed decision to participate. Beneficent, we're making sure that we're informing them of the benefits of the study. Non-maleficent, we're causing no harm to the participants. Justice, we're providing privacy, we're respecting our subjects, we're giving them the opportunity to participate without being cohorts, and we are making sure that they are being treated in a fair manner. With veracity, we are letting them know the duration of the study, what information we're going to be collecting, how are we going to be collecting that information. Fidelity, we are making sure that we are engaging in a trusting relationship and we're respecting the rights of the participant. Confidentiality, we are not using any personal identifiers, no names, no date of birth, no social security numbers. Once we start a study, each participant will have an ID number, and that will be the only identifier that we as researchers would use. If there's a breach of information, we need to make sure that we inform our participants right away. Unfortunately, in the United States, we have had some unethical research studies. I found these 4 ones very fascinating due to the fact that this could have been done in a more humane way, and the researchers did not took those steps. From 1932 to 1972, the Tuskegee syphilis study, 399 African American patients that were positive for syphilis were not treated, and they did not know that they were not treated. The researchers wanted to know what the long effects of the syphilis was. In 1963, at the Jewish Chronic Disease Hospital, 22 elderly patients, healthy patients, were infected with live cancer cells. Again, the researchers wanted to know what the effects of the cancer was on a healthy body. From 1963 to 1966, at the Willowbrook study, disabled children were infected with hepatitis. They wanted to know what the hepatitis will do to the body, and then they experimented with different vaccines. From 1989 to 1991, 700 babies and over 1,500 6 months old were given a measles vaccine without parental consent. It was an experimental vaccine, and they did not tell the parents that the children were receiving this vaccine. As we see by those examples of unethical research, we have vulnerable populations, and that include children, mentally and emotionally disabled people, physical disabled people, terminally ill, the jail population, and pregnant women. So with children, they cannot give us informed consent. The parents need to sign the paper. They need to be informed of what's going on with the study. Now, children can give us assent. If they're 7 years old and older, they can say, yes, I want to participate in the study verbally. If they have a cognitive ability that is surpassed their years or their IQ is higher, then a child is able to give you verbal and written consent. But the mentally and emotionally ill, um, they are not completely there. They do not have the mental capacity to understand everything that's going on with the study, so they really cannot consent to participate. Physically disabled, we need to assess that disability and make sure that we are not going to cause more harm than benefit them. Terminally ill, again, it's not that they cannot participate. We need to make sure that they are mentally able to make that decision. The jail population, just because somebody is in jail, it doesn't mean that they do not have rights. We need to make sure that they get involved in a study. They understand that it's voluntary, and they need to know and understand the risks and benefits as well. For pregnant women, we do not do any testing on pregnant women unless it's going to benefit the health of both the fetus and the pregnant woman. Informed consent, why is it so important? Well, research involving patients is regulated to protect the patient. So we have to make sure that they know and understand every aspect of their involvement in the research. The study needs to be explained to them, the benefits and the risk. Components of informed consent include the following. They need to know the title of the study, the name, place of work, and the qualifications, all the researchers involved. The contact information for the researchers. They need that information before, during, and after, just in case they have any questions. They can reach that researcher and get that information that they need. The study of the population. Are we doing research just in women and men, women between the ages of 19 and 24, women with breast cancer, men with a history of prostate cancer? The population needs to be the same, and every participant needs to be aware of that. The purpose of the study. What are we gaining from this study? The potential risks and benefits of the study. If we're studying a medication, what are those potential benefits? Study procedures and steps for data collection. Are we going to be collecting data before we are going to do any type of study-related issue, or are we going to just proceed to collect data at intervals? Are we going to have them do a physical? Are we going to be collecting blood work? Do they have to come in every so often to do an assessment or to do blood work? Confidentiality. How are we going to maintain these records confidential? Are we going to put them in a computer drive? Are they going to be encrypted? Is the paperwork going to be locked up? What are we doing to keep this safe? How is the data going to be collected, and how? Again, are they going to be doing questionnaires? Are they going to be doing phone interviews? Are they going to be doing face-to-face interview? Who is going to collect the data? Is it just a researcher? Is it researchers, doctors, and nurses? Is it researchers' assistants? They need to know who is going to be talking to them. How the data will be stored and who will access the data. Again, are we encrypting the data and putting it in a computer? Are we having paperwork that is going to be safeguarded? Is the data going to be accessed just by the people collecting the data and the researcher? Are we sharing this data with other hospitals, with other institutions, with university, with the government, the FDA? They need to know that the participation is voluntary, and they need to know that they can refuse to participate or withdraw at any time. If you have a participant that starts in their study and they halfway through it, they decided that they don't want to continue with the study, they have that right. Participants can choose not to answer any questions, stop, or cease their involvement at any stage. Again, if you have a participant and they are progressing, they decide that they don't want to answer any questions, or they decide to stop and not complete the study, that is their right. They have to know that they have the opportunity to ask researcher questions before and after and during the research. How are participants going to obtain the results? Are we going to be given the results as we're collecting them and we are getting results from the data? Are they going to just only get the results at the end of the study? Informed consent is so important in a study that both parties will have to receive a signed and data concern form. So as researchers and as participants, both need to go ahead and get all the data. They need to assign the informed consent, and each of them will get a copy of that informed consent. I hope this clarifies a little bit about the ethics of nursing research and the steps for informed consent. If you have any questions, you're welcome to email me at easyi@appstate.com. Hang in there. You have a couple more weeks, then you'll have a break before you start your fall semester. Good luck to you.